Perfect. Perfect.
Sometimes I wonder, when does fanaticism becomes too much of fanaticism? I even broached this on my show last year when I asked, were Saints fans being unfair to Derek Carr? After this past Sunday, I can confirm that for sure, Saints fans are being unfair to Derek Carr, because let's just play a game. Let's imagine that Spencer Rattler had the same game on Sunday against the 49ers that Derek Carr had. And let's imagine that Derek Carr had the same game that Spencer Rattler had. We're playing Freaky Friday on Twisted Tuesday here on the Jono Bond Show. Probably would have been a lot of heat on Derek Carr, right? And probably would have been a lot of praise on Spencer Rattler. And one day when I do with my skits, they're really just documentary footage that my wife gives to our marriage therapist. But when you watch my skits, essentially the basis of all of the skits is the hypocrisy and the fanatic and me representing the Saints fans. And I find it funny. Like, I'm not trying to chastise anybody or demean anybody, but I think sometimes fans need to kind of take a step back and realize that a part of being a fan is having to self-admit that you are a hypocrite. Because if Derek Carr had the game that Spencer Rattler had, we would have nailed him to the cross like Jesus Christ. If Spencer Rattler had the game that Derek Carr had, we would have anointed him the next savior of the franchise. But with the roles reversed, for Derek Carr, it was, he's playing backups and third stringers, and I don't want to believe it because he's shown me enough, which is fair. Like, we've seen 10 years of data on Derek Carr that I'm not expecting everybody after a touchdown drive on the 49ers. The third drive, by the way, it's not like the first two drives were some amazing drives. Like, it took 3 drives to finally get the offense going. But the excuses and hatred for Derek Carr still remain. Whereas when Rattler had a poor game on Sunday, it was, he's playing with backups and he's a rookie and he needs time to gel. And I'm like, well, hold on. Y'all the same fans that are also claiming that Spencer Rattler should be the starter? Like, because if you want Spencer Rattler to be the starter, then probably means we're going to be even worse than what we are probably positioned to be right now with Derek Carr. Maybe you do want that, which is fine. Everybody can fan the way they want to fan, but I just wish or hope at least that you guys can see the hypocrisy in yourself sometimes when you judge players. Now, honestly, last year, that same goodwill that Spencer Rattler has right now, Derek Carr had up until about week 3 when Saints fans started turning on Derek Carr. But week 4, actually, because he got hurt in the Packers game, and we were like, well, he's still playing decent for the year. But, we were all in on Derek Carr, and if he was having – and he didn't have a great week 1, to be honest. He didn't have a great week 1 or great week 2, to be honest. Like, we won those games last season in week 1 and week 2 off defense, but everybody was still being very kind to Derek Carr because he was the new guy. He still had that new car smell to him. So we all were like, oh man, he's a leader. He's winning. Look how the atmosphere with the team has changed now. Things are looking up. Look how much of a leader Derek Carr is. I mean, goddamn, we were making, remember in week 1 when he was mic'd up and he told Rashid Shaheed, Rashid, freaking run. And then fans were taking that and making T-shirts and signs and, Derek Carr's the man. He's the leader. Look, he ended the game. He told Rashid to freaking run. And we confirmed and we won the game against the Tennessee Titans off of that play. Everybody was all in on the Derek Carr bandwagon. He had that goodwill last year up until week 4 when he started to show what Derek Carr experience is and fans started turning their back on him. Now that goodwill goes to Spencer Rattler because he has the pedigree and the name value that fans clamor for whenever they think that the grass is green on the other side. And he's going to have all that goodwill going forward until he gives fans a reason to turn on him. And fans indeed will turn on you, Spencer Rattler, if you don't deliver to the hype that they have set for you. That's just the game. This shit more than the game, but that's just the game. Derek Carr didn't live up to the hype. So we turned our backs on him. Now, a lot of that was a part of Derek Carr's own willing too. Him not really giving back or immersing himself in the community the way Jameis Winston did. Because it's not like Jameis Winston was setting the world on fire on the field, but he was giving back to the community. He was at parades. He was at Zulu Ball. He was everywhere. We love that. He made us feel like he was one of us. We like that type of stuff. And when you show that type of stuff, we'll give you grace. But if you're not going to show that type of stuff and you're not playing elite football, well, then you're setting yourself up to be a very, very unpopular person in the city of New Orleans. Hopefully Spencer Rattler can learn from a PR perspective to immerse himself in the city while he has his goodwill, because that can buy him, honestly, about 2 or 3 or 4 years of goodwill with the fans if he struggles or he doesn't live up to these crazy expectations that we have given him. Now, one last time, I'm not saying that shame on anybody for not believing in Derek Carr. I don't believe in Derek Carr. I mean, I believe, you know what? Actually, I take that back. I believe in Derek Carr because I believe Derek Carr is who he is, which means I'm not as mad or hate the guy as much as Saints fans do. Like, I know what Derek Carr is. Derek Carr did not change himself when he came to New Orleans. He showed y'all in Oakland and Las Vegas what he was. It's on y'all. Y'all got to look in the mirror and say, hold on, why did I get excited about this quarterback when he has been who he has been throughout his whole career? That's on y'all as a fan base. I'm not trying anybody to know if they're mad at him or if they're just over him. What I am saying is you gotta accept and at least laugh at the hypocrisy. You might have seen my YouTube video earlier today where I picked out some of my favorite comments from Saints fans when I asked on Sunday, how did you feel about Derek Carr's, all things considered, impressive performance? And of course, the majority of the comments was on my ass saying, what you mean impressive? He sucks. Now, had I put that same, as had Spencer Rattler had that same game, and I made that same poll and question saying, how do y'all feel about Spencer Rattler's impressive performance? I probably would have got no pushback. Everybody would have said, he's the man. He's great. Sometimes you just got to laugh at the self-hypocrisy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jono Bourne Show. But it's shit more than a stream.
You are now watching the Jono Bourne Show. We're so glad you came. Now sit back, relax, and get ready, 'cause this is more than a game.
And y'all know how we got to start off each and every show. Please, whether you're watching on Twitter or whether you're watching on YouTube. And I appreciate if you're in New Orleans and you're watching the show, because right now the Saints are having their first open practice of the training camp to Saints fans. Finally, Saints fans get to see their team in person at Yeoman Stadium at Tulane. So I'm assuming maybe a lot of fans right now are actually attending that practice. But if you're not and you're actually watching the Jono Bourne Show, then I really appreciate you. And there's only one way to start off the show each and every time, and that is to leave a this shit more than a game in the chat right now as we get to our post-week 2 preseason game of the Jono Bourne Show. I'm going to do my best, you guys, to not yell tonight because I did a live game watch-along, which I had a ton of fun. I appreciate each and everybody who joined the show on Sunday to watch the game with me. But I had to do it solo, and it is actually really tough, even for someone who likes to talk like me, to talk 3 hours straight with nobody to feed off of, nobody to talk so I can take a break and drink some water and whatnot. So my voice is already a little tired, and it's like, God damn, we doing another show? So I'm going to try my best not to yell tonight. Besides, I got to save my yelling for Sunday at my drink launch, and I definitely got to save my yelling for the season, which is less than 3 weeks away, and I'm really, really excited. I see some of you guys already in the chat leaving that this shit more than the game. Shout out to Hurricane Mike. Shout out to Dan Goodwin. I see my dude on Twitter already. Numbers don't lie. That man lives to defend Derek Carr. I think that's why he actually likes me. He feels like I'm at least fair to Derek Carr. Like, I'm not a Derek Carr truther or believer by any stretch of the imagination, but I would like to think, fair to the man. Pavis, this shit more than the game. It sounds like he's from France with that. Pavis. And of course, my guy Carl Dunn. This shit is indeed more than a game. So we're going to talk about the preseason game 2 against the 49ers, guys. And again, I'm solo tonight. Hopefully, y'all, my co-hosts actually show up for the season, right? Like Ziggy came on 2 weeks ago and he was like, I'm back, y'all, I'm back. And now he's been gone the past 2 weeks. How'd that go? You know, Evan's boycotting the show because we're into contract negotiations for 2024 and he doesn't feel like he's valued. So stay tuned for if me and Evan can come to terms before the beginning of the 2024 season. And not that I need Evan on the show, but it would be nice to have him on for their week 2 Cowboys game, right? Like, I feel like it's all been leading up to that week. So I might have to bend, but hopefully not break when it comes to contract negotiations for that motherfucker. And I don't even know whether Sean is alive or not at this point. Sean just kind of shows up when he wants to, which good for Sean. You know, that's the way to live. Like, hey, if I want to show up to the job, I can. If I don't, what are they going to do? Fire me? Which is a damn good point. But we're going to recap the Saints preseason game 2 tonight. I want to know your guys' thoughts after you've had maybe a day or two to watch some of the replay and see how the offense looked, how the defense looked, how certain players that you got a spotlight on looked. I had a chance to kind of see the replays and watch a little bit of the game film to see like how did Trevor Penning really look, right? Like, we didn't hear his name much during the game, so I'm like, well, that means he might have had a good game, right? Well, then I got to look at the game film, and we'll talk about how I feel about Trevor Penning. Then you see guys like Isaiah Foskey and Payton, and you wonder what is their future in not only the New Orleans Saints, but football. But having the chance to watch the game film again, I got to get better thoughts on how I feel about a lot of these players going into the season, because I'm not expecting many of the major players to play this Sunday against the Titans. So essentially, it's go time for the starters, right? Like, I don't expect Derek Carr or Olave or this shit more than the game, Mount Rushmore guy and Eric McCoy to play Sunday. So now it's basically we got to get ready for Carolina in week 1. And we are at this point where we are. Justin Simmons is now walking through that door. I mean, he walked through the door, but then he went right out. That Grandpa Simpson meme, in, out, went to Atlanta. So the Saints are what the Saints are. This is our team. And we now basically have enough preseason footage. Granted, they didn't show too much in preseason, and a lot of Saints reporters are saying that they really are not showing what the offense is really going to look like for week 1, which I'll take that. I mean, I'm not expecting us to expose our playbook in preseason, but does that make anybody feel better about our chances in 2024, knowing that we've only really shown a very vanilla look on offense for preseason so far? There's a lot to ponder. We are less than 3 weeks away. I am very excited, y'all. Football is back. Hell, college football starts this week. I am excited. It is going to be a great weekend, especially because I'm going to get the plug out the way now. I'm going to be plugging this throughout the whole show, y'all. It is go time as well for the This Shit More Than a Game community, because This Shit More Than a Drink at Blue Oak Barbecue is coming out this Sunday, 1 p.m., 900 North Carrollton Avenue. And I hope that you guys come out, show some support, come say hi to your boy. I'm not expecting you guys to be out there throughout the whole game, but I would like to see some of y'all faces. If y'all can make it, you know, we're going to have the drink available to purchase for the first time. You could be a part of history. We're going to have some good barbecue to purchase. Blue Oak Barbecue has the best barbecue in the city of New Orleans. You're going to have some good vibes, man. I'm going to be there. Ziggy claims he's going to be there. We'll see if he shows up or not. I mean, she also says she's going to show up every Tuesday, right? But I'm just playing, y'all. I love Ziggy. Y'all know I love Ziggy. It's going to be a good time this Sunday. And it's also my birthday. So hopefully you guys can come and celebrate my birthday with me. That would be nice. That would be nice. Actually, I mean, technical difficulties. Okay, I'm getting birthday calls already. This is just a typical one from State Farm. Like a good neighbor. I guess they really are like a good neighbor, right? But it's my birthday week, so hopefully you guys can come and chop it up with your boy, watch the Spencer Rattler show against the Titans, and have a grand old time at Blue Oak Barbecue and try This Shit More Than a Drink. All right, game 2 of preseason, and the main question of the show, because I believe that Derek Carr had a good game, for all things considered. I mean, he only had 3 drives, right? And the first 2 drives were not great. He is what he is. Like, he's not Drew Brees accurate, guys. He's not going to put the ball right on the money. Hell, he might even send what some call hospital balls to the wide receivers. So I get that he's not Drew Brees, but for Derek Carr's standards and what I expect from Derek Carr, I thought he actually played pretty well in those 3 drives. Now, of course, a lot of Saints fans, and I'm not going to even say the majority, I guess just the loud majority on social media was not impressed. And I don't know at this point, what can Derek Carr do to win over Saints fans? I mean, I feel like if we want to win 10 or 11 games and Derek Carr has a solid season, he will win over fans. I would like to think that. I don't know. It feels like some fans are just so sold on the fact that Derek Carr is never going to be anything special, that they are never going to give him any type of credit whatsoever. Now, don't get it twisted. Like when Derek Carr plays bad, and he will play bad at certain parts this season, I will call him out. I think people are starting to think that I'm like a Derek Carr apologist or anything like that. I'm not. I just knew who Derek Carr was from day one. Hell, the first skit I did when we signed Derek Carr, if you remembered, if you're true to the Jono Barnes Show and not new to the Jono Barnes Show, it kind of went viral. Even got his brother to follow me after that skit. I did a skit about the hypocrisy of Saints fans and how before we signed Derek Carr, everybody was like, oh, Derek Carr ain't nobody. He's a middle of the pack quarterback. He ain't that special. And then when we signed him, I got all bucked up saying, oh, yeah, Super Bowl. He did this and he did that. He beat Patrick Mahomes one-on-one. You know, like that's how fanaticism works. I've kept that same attitude throughout the whole Derek Carr era so far. I know what Derek Carr is. I didn't expect that man to come in and be Drew Brees. I knew he's going to be a frustrating middle of the pack quarterback. So I still get a little bit surprised when fans act so angry about him when I'm like, he is what he is. Like, did y'all drink that much of the Kool-Aid? And I'm not talking McKinstry, that y'all thought that he was like this savior or like this top 10 quarterback or something. I don't know. Now, some people are saying, oh, it's his attitude that turns us off to him. I don't even think his attitude is that bad, to be honest. I just think that he's just not, you know, outgoing like Jameis, nor is he elite like Drew Brees, that him just being an average quarterback, living an average life, maybe coming off sometimes as a snake oil salesman of fans because he's always trying to be positive and claim that he isn't the worst quarterback. It just turns off fans, which is fine. But I mean, Derek Carr is who Derek Carr is. So I ask you guys, is there anything that Derek Carr can do to win over Saints fans? And if there is, what is it? Let me know in the chat, because it almost feels like at this point, fans would rather not make the playoffs than make the playoffs. Like I'm not ever gonna believe, unless they really, really like have a kick-ass out of nowhere year this season, that the Saints are going to win a Super Bowl under Dennis Allen and Derek Carr. I'm one of those people who does not believe that. And I know a lot of fans don't believe that. So because a lot of these fans don't believe that, they're like, well, I don't want to even make the playoffs and tie ourselves into Derek Carr and Dennis Allen for more years when there's no Super Bowl at the end of that rainbow, which I can respect. Now, me just being the type of fan that I am, I can't help it. Like when week 1 comes and that ball is kicked off, I'm going to want to win. When week 2 comes and I'm in Dallas amongst a party of Cowboys fans, I am going to want to win. I'm going to want to win when I'm in Kansas City. I'm going to want to win when Sean Payton is in town. I want to shove that win up his ass for leaving New Orleans. I am just always going to cheer for wins, unless it's like we are 2-8 in November. Then I'm gonna be like, well, hell no, let's get the top pick, right? Like, you know, but as long as we still have a realistic shot at doing something special in the season, I'm always going to cheer for that. I'm going to cheer for us to try and play football in January. And I mean, you never know. You might go on a 2007 New York Giants type run, right? Nobody thought the Giants were anywhere close to beating the juggernaut that was the 2007 New England Patriots. So you always look for outcomes like that when you want to base your belief in your team. But is there anything that Derek Carr can do to make you guys feel like he can win you over? Because I know in the chat right now, there's a lot of Derek Carr, I don't want to even say haters, but there's a lot of Derek Carr non-believers. So let me know what you guys think, because for all intents and purposes, Derek Carr had a good game Sunday. He had a good game Sunday. Not great. I'm not saying he light the world on fire. I'm not saying go on your FanDuel app and book the Saints to win Super Bowl or book Derek Carr to win the MVP. I'm just saying, all things considered, Derek Carr had a pretty good game Sunday. For my standards, at least. My guy, Brute Saint, this shit more than a game pioneer, says, I got to see a little taste of what McCoy was talking about when he said the scheme is very O-line friendly. Now, that's a man who watches the Jono Barnes show, because Eric McCoy was on my show this past spring, and he said about how Clint Kubiak's system is very, very friendly to the offensive lineman. And he actually did show a little bit of motion, not a lot. You know, he gave us a little bit of an appetizer on Sunday. Like we saw Taysom Hill motion a lot, and we saw Taysom Hill do Taysom Hill dance, which we'll get to in a little bit, because I'm very excited about the potential of Taysom Hill in 2024, even if he is 34 years old. Clint moved guys around on that position a lot. A lot is owed to the pre-snap motions, and we haven't even seen yet, Bruce saying, like what a full Clint Kubiak system it's going to look like. Numbers don't lie. The biggest Derek Carr fan I know says Carr has lost to Mahomes 3 times by a combined 12 points, with the 26 or worse defenses giving up 35 points plus points per game against Mahomes. That man, that's the reason why his name is Numbers Don't Lie. Yo, he always comes with the numbers to make sure that we put some respect on Derek Carr's name. Sometimes I'm starting to wonder, like, this is Derek Carr's burner account or something. George Witter says Derek Carr could win a Super Bowl and people will still hate him. Now, that I feel like if by miracle, George, we actually did make the Super Bowl with Derek Carr and Dennis Allen, like even the most tough talking Saints fans about those two right now would get caught up in the hoopla. Like, I mean, the Super Bowl is a Super Bowl. You take it any type of way. It may not always be as pretty as that 13-3 2009 season with Payton and Brees, but if by hook or by crook, Dennis Allen and Derek Carr ever led us to a Super Bowl, even if it comes like in a 9-8 type year and we got lucky with other teams having injuries and maybe we had a call go our way, shit, I'll take it. I'll take it. We only got one life to live. I'll take any Super Bowl I can get in these lifetimes. I'm happy that I got one, to be honest. I'm happy that I got one while I was mature and that I got to celebrate it with all of my closest of the closest, you know, before some of us depart to grayer skies, you know, because, you know, you only get so many football seasons in your lifetime, right? And there's a chance that maybe some people of the older age that, you know, may not be alive for the next Saints Super Bowl. I mean, hopefully they are, but that's just how it is. So that's why every season I'm like, hey, I'll take a Super Bowl any and whichever way. Shit. You'll never see me saying I don't want a Super Bowl with Derek Carr and Dennis Allen. Hell with that. Swag fan says the game 1 will set the tone. I don't even know if game 1 will set the tone, Swag fan, because Dennis Allen is actually undefeated in week 1 as a head coach for the New Orleans Saints. So he might even have a chance to go 3-0 in week 1 when we got the Carolina Panthers, who I feel like is in a way worse spot than the Saints. So I feel like the first 4 games will set the tone and then we'll get a good feel. Like if we're 2-2, I'll probably be like, well, it's going to be the same old type of shit, 7-8 win season and mediocrityville. If we're 1-3, I'll be like, yeah, this is probably going to be a really, really bad season where Saints fans are going to be on a level 10 when it comes to how hot they are. Or if we're 3-1 or 4-0, I'm not saying we will be, but you never know. Well, then hell, shit. You know, maybe even the most Joe to the fans is going to be like, who that? Like my guy Justin all the way in Phoenix is saying. Hakeem says consistency is all I ask for, but it's also tied to how well this porous O-line protects him. Yeah, hopefully Kubiak's system can protect people like Trevor Penning because Eric McCoy and Ruiz and Fuaga can't do all the work by themselves. So hopefully that offensive system that Kubiak employs is going to be very beneficial to our non-star offensive linemen. Carl, my guy Carl says, it's the fault of the front office. Money Mickey didn't seek a QB when Drew retired. Yes and no. We didn't have necessarily the greatest quarterback contingency plan in place the way Green Bay likes to do when they had Rodgers, even though they had Brett Favre, and then when they had Jordan Love, even though they had Aaron Rodgers. They are always ready to take the heat and say, well, we'll draft a quarterback and we'll take all the heat because we know that there's going to be a day when Brett Favre is not a Packer. There's going to be a day when Aaron Rodgers is not a Packer. And now look, the Green Bay Packers have had quarterback nirvana for like the past 30 years. Must be nice. God damn it. Must be nice. That's why I don't even fault the Falcons. Like, I know the fans are mad because they're in win now mode. And I still don't know how the Falcons suddenly are in win now mode when they haven't made the playoffs for the past 5 years. But okay, they're in win now mode with Kirk Cousins and they still drafted a quarterback in the first round. Well, they're like, well, shit, Kirk Cousins is coming off an Achilles. We want to have a quarterback in place so that when Kirk Cousins is no longer a Falcon in a year or 2 or 3, we got a quarterback right on in, and we're not in a situation like the Saints are in where you're playing hot potato at quarterback for the past 4 seasons. But hopefully the Falcon's still Falcon. My guy Dylan on Twitter says Derek has got to play consistent ball and score red zone touchdowns. And I agree with that, Dylan. That is Derek Carr's kryptonite. He gets in the red zone, and it seems like the field just absolutely shrinks to him, and he starts seeing ghosts, and he just doesn't know how to handle a shortened field. He has to absolutely get it together in the red zone. I thought last year with us signing Jimmy Graham and Jamal Williams that was going to take the heat off Derek Carr in the red zone, and maybe we could just have, you know, that run power formation and just throw it up to Jimmy Graham, but he was still struggling in the red zone. So he's got to get his – I mean, honestly, if he were even good in the red zone, that would change the trajectory of his whole perception and career. So he's got to get it together in the red zone. I absolutely agree with you on that, Dylan. Rudy, I think this is Rudy's first time on the show because I don't think I've ever seen Rudy on the show. So, Rudy, welcome to the Jono Bones Show. And you came in with an impact. You say Derek is trash ass. Boop. Well, I think a lot of Saints fans agree with you on that, Rudy. Not me, but I think a lot of Saints fans agree with you. So that's not necessarily a hot take. My guy, my cuz, fastest rising YouTuber on the planet. Bad Juju says the only thing Carr can do to win me over is win, but he does not hate him the way other Saints fans do. Justin Phoenix says he just wants Derek Carr to lead his receivers. You know, Drew Brees spoil y'all. And I'm going to show you how Drew Brees spoil y'all in a little bit. But Drew Brees spoil y'all with some of his quarterback play that I'm going to show y'all just in about maybe a few minutes. Slim Sal, it's good to see Slim Sal back on the show. He says, like Brees told Carr, if you embrace the city will embrace you back. Yeah, because Jameis damn sure took that to heart. And look how beloved Jameis is in New Orleans. And Jameis wasn't any better than Derek Carr, for being honest. Jameis was not on the field better than Derek Carr. Now, because he is so beloved, fans have, I don't want to say excuses, but have reasons for why he wasn't as great on the field. Oh, you know, he was injured. Oh, Dennis Allen never gave him a shot. Oh, this or that. Oh, this or that. Oh, this or that. Whereas when you're not beloved the way Derek Carr is not beloved, he doesn't get any of that goodwill or those excuses or those grace from Saints fans. It's like, oh, no, he sucks. He sucks. So I think Derek, though, did a very conscious effort of trying to immerse himself more in the city this offseason. I don't know if y'all saw it. He went to Eric McCoy's crawfish boil, which I absolutely, and I don't text him too much because I don't want to sound, you know, become like a crazy ass fanatic to him. But I texted him and I was like, yo, what was my invite? He was like, oh, my bad, dog. I didn't know you was in the city. I said, man, you invite me to a crawfish boil, my ass will be at that spot. So Eric McCoy owes me a crawfish boil invite in 2025. But Derek Carr was doing a lot of activities in New Orleans this past offseason, and I feel like fans are just either choosing to deliberately ignore it or they just are so over Derek Carr that they don't even want to acknowledge it. But he's trying, I feel, more so in 2024 than he did in 2023. Brute Saints says, as long as Carr makes minimal mistakes, the entire offense can do damage. But that's just Derek, and I need to see it on the field. And I feel like we've been saying that for a Derek Carr team for not just us, but even Raiders fans. Like, oh, we need this and we need that. And there's always something. So, you know, how many chances can you get? I mean, maybe unlimited the way Mickey Loomis is operating right now. I mean, shit. Dennis Allen hasn't made a playoffs in 6 years as a head coach, and he keeps getting chances. But hopefully this is the year that those minimal mistakes actually come to fruition. Brute Saint. Hakeem says, my Saints are 3 years behind on the rebuild. We should already be on the upward trajectory, but we kept kicking the can down the road, and here we are stuck in neutral. Now, I said that when Sean Payton retired. I say, yo, how often is it that a team loses a Hall of Fame quarterback and a Hall of Fame coach in back-to-back years and goes upward, right? But the Saints made that decision. And let's be fair, Hakeem, all of us fans, including me, we ate it up. Oh, we signed Tyrann Mathieu. Oh, we signed Jimmy Graham. Oh, not hell with a rebuild. We still going to do some damage. All of us were hyped up. And maybe from the Saints perspective, shit, it's a small market city. They got to sell tickets. So, you know, it's easy for us to say, yeah, go on a rebuild. And I also have been arguing for a rebuild for the past 2 years, to be honest. But I get it from a business perspective when they're like, well, who going to buy the tickets if we are going 3-14, right? So I get why maybe they also make a business choice to say we got to continue to try to kick the can down the road. But I want to be fair to them and say that the fans were absolutely hyped and full of hoopla and energy when we decided not to kick the can down the road. And when we did hire Dennis Allen, everybody was like, oh, continuity. That's why we got him. Everything going to be the same. He knows the locker room. He knows the atmosphere of the team. He knows the vibes. He's going to keep everything the same. So it's going to be like, we didn't even miss Sean Payton. Yeah. Numbers don't lie. Says Saints and Carr. The Saints O-line and Carr were one of the best on first. This numbers don't lie. It always comes with the numbers, y'all. On first and second down. On third and fourth down, the O-line was terrible, and Carr wasn't great with all that pressure. We know that Carr absolutely is not good when he has pressure in his face. Everyone knew the play that was coming on third down because of Stinky Pete and not breaking tendencies. Well, numbers don't lie. Hopefully, Clint Kubiak is 10 times the coordinator that Pete Carmichael was. Numbers Don't Lie also says that Graham and Williams barely played in the red zone. Carr doesn't pick the play or the play. Well, maybe he should. Numbers Don't Lie. Now I'm going to be a little bit of a devil's advocate. Maybe he should. He's a 10-year veteran. Maybe he should make the calls to fulfill his potential, right? He knows enough of the NFL now to know what's going to be his best way to be an effective quarterback. We damn sure that Drew called the plays. I mean, I know Payton called most of it, but when Drew had the freedom to say, let's call this play. Let's audible. Let's bring this wide receiver in. Let's bring this tight end in. Let's call this set. Maybe Derek Carr should have that leeway so we can finally have no excuses and let him sink or swim. I'm just saying. A lot of comments. I appreciate y'all, man. We got 30 people watching on YouTube, 150 people overall. Shout out to everybody watching on Twitter. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me get to a few more. Swag Fans says he would like to have Winston back. I would like Winston back just for the vibes. I do not think he's ever going to be a great quarterback at this point in his career anymore. Ethan supports every fan. I'm glad that you support every fan, Ethan. It's all about equality. He says Winston proved himself that he cost us games. Winston went 5 and 10 losses as a Saint to Swag Fans. So I think we got a Jameis Winston debate going on right now in the chat. But Ethan, Jameis has that goodwill that Derek Carr does not have. That's why you are going to run into a lot of Jameis Winston supporters within the Saints fan base. Because I'm going to be honest, and one of my first skits that helped me build my platform was, again, the hypocrisy of fans, including Saints fans. When Jameis was a Buck, we were like, oh, that guy is trash. 30 interceptions, that guy is trash. He signed with us. Oh, Jameis is great. Look at all that untapped potential. Just give him this, give him that. Jameis is going to be that guy. And Jameis, unlike Carr, immersed himself in the city, which is why he still has that goodwill with us, unlike Derek Carr. Alex says he loves the show. He is from Louisiana, but he is watching from Corpus Christi. I appreciate you, Alex. And you're an LSU fan. I need to get more LSU people on my show, and I need to get more LSU fans to show some love to the show. I know I talk mainly Saints and Pelicans, but I got love for LSU too, and that's an audience that I haven't tapped into yet that I need to. But I appreciate you watching all the way from Corpus Christi, Alex, and thank you for the early birthday wishes. Now, the funny thing is this. I tried telling y'all throughout those 2017 through 2020 years, I didn't have as big of a platform. Oh, wait, Alex is a woman. That's even better, Alex. I like to have more females in my audience. I mean, I can't have my wife be my only female fan. So thank you, Alex. Thank you. You are, Alex, this shit more than the game certified. I tried telling y'all about Drew Brees in 2017 through 2020, though, when all the fans were like, oh, but look at his air yards. He's not getting enough air yards on his play. It's time for Drew Brees to retire. And what I kept saying, I mean, y'all won't know because I didn't have a platform back then. But I was like, man, y'all act like these Hall of Fame quarterback grows on trees. Y'all act like these Hall of Fame quarterbacks grow on trees. And look what's been life after Drew Brees since then. I posted this on Twitter. And boy, oh boy, did it get some leeway. Look at that, 108,000 views as of, 6 o'clock p.m. today. And it's still getting traction. It's still being shared by major platforms and stuff. This was posted on Fox NFL. It's not my graphic, but I took a screenshot and I put it with my commentary saying, yeah, y'all were complaining about the air yards. But look at this. With Drew Brees since 2017 and 2020, we were 41-13. Even with his little weak noodle arm, he had 106 touchdowns and only 23 interceptions with 4 playoff appearances. Now look at life without Drew Brees. 33-28 was the record. And that's only mainly because of Taysom Hill and Teddy Bridgewater with Sean Payton. To be honest, Taysom Hill and Teddy Bridgewater are carrying that graphic on the right side. 88 touchdowns and 40 interceptions. 0. The main thing, 0 playoff appearances. And look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks have put on a Saints uniform and started the game since Drew Brees has retired. 7 quarterbacks. All right, since Drew Brees was hurt/retired. 7 quarterbacks. But everybody said it was time for Drew to go, right? Everybody was counting down the clock. Not everybody, excuse me. I'm talking to hyperbole. I don't want to sound like that Green Bay Packers backup quarterback who went on Twitter yesterday and said the Saints fans still believe that we're a Super Bowl team. But a lot of Saints fans were saying, oh, it's time for Drew Brees to retire. Well, look at that graphic, y'all. Like my guy in the Twitter chat right now. Numbers do not lie. Numbers do not lie. So think about that the next time y'all say, oh, man, it's time for a Hall of Fame quarterback to leave New Orleans, as if New Orleans is a haven for Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Think about that next time y'all say, oh, it's time for a potential Hall of Fame head coach Sean Payton to go. He's worn out his welcome, as if New Orleans is a Hall of Fame, as if New Orleans is a haven for Hall of Fame head coaches. Be careful what you wish for, because that grass ain't always going to be greener on the other side. I said I wasn't going to yell today, but just looking at that, it gets me going, man. And look, yes, Drew Brees did have a noodle arm in his final years, but he was still good. And y'all are still complaining. In 12 and 13 win seasons, y'all are still complaining. Football guys say bet. The football guys say bet. And now we are in quarterback hell. And now we are in head coaching hell. Now, y'all asked for that, right? Some of y'all Saints fans, y'all wanted Drew Brees to go. Y'all wanted them air yards back, right? When Jameis gave us those air yards, how that turned out. Derek Carr's giving us those air yards. How is that turning out? But y'all wanted that, right? Sean Payton wore out his welcome, right? Y'all wanted a new blood at head coach. Well, how's that turning out? Come on now. Be careful what you wish for. Evan, even though he's protesting or boycotting the show right now until we come to a contract agreement, he says, shit, we talk about how the Cowboys' third-string quarterback is better than all three quarterbacks the Saints have. And my guy, Epic Vision Productions, if you guys are in New Orleans for the Blue Oak launch party Sunday, you'll get to see the great Epic Vision Productions, my top-of-the-line videographer who just helps me out in ways I cannot thank him enough for. He says, call River Parish Disposal and pick up Derek Carr ass on airline. So Epic Vision, y'all, is my best friend. And well, to be, one thing about him, even in those 13 win seasons, he was also always pretty harsh on the Saints. So he's one of those people I'm talking about when I say be careful what you wish for. But I asked Saints fans, y'all, after the game, as we talk about, again, can Derek Carr do anything to win over Saints fans? I asked Saints fans, I said, well, how do y'all feel about that impressive performance he put up on Sunday? Now, that was a bit of me being the antagonist, right? I admitted this on my show Sunday during the watching on. Sometimes I like to put tweets out there knowing it's going to get fans heated because I just know I got this weird thing where I like antagonizing people. There's a bit of antagonist in this shit more than the game blood that I have. And these were the results with over 725 people voting as of 6 p.m. today. They say no, they do not believe in Derek Carr. However, if you want to look at it from a positive standpoint, 21.8%, which is basically 22%, said yes, and 30% say on the fence. So if you want to be glass half full, Derek Carr, there's about 52% of fans that you can still potentially win over or that you have won over already and that do believe in you. But I guarantee you, y'all, if I take out Derek Carr and I put Spencer Rattler's name right there in that question, those results will look a lot different. I'd even argue that it would be over 75% that would say yes, that they believed in Spencer Rattler. Have fun with the hypocrisy that comes with being a fan, y'all, because that's basically the basis of all of my skits. I'm a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. Have fun with it. Have fun with it, okay? Don't be so mean like these Saints fans were in the comments. Hey, yo, Saints Twitter is easily the greatest fan base on social media. So after the Saints and 49ers preseason game, I asked the fans how they felt about Derek Carr because all things considered, it was a pretty good game. Here's what they had to say. One angry midget said the NOPD needs to arrest his ass for accessory to murder with those damn 187 passes he throws. Not one wide receiver will be alive by week 8. Remy says he played insurance salesman and trainers. I feel like that's a little disrespectful to insurance salesmen, okay? I mean, come on now. It takes a lot of work to become an insurance salesman. Y'all got to put some more respect on these insurance salesman names. My dude Nola CJ2 says, I believe a magical unicorn that shits gold will appear in my yard before a lemon bitch boy will lead my team to a Super Bowl. You got to really hate somebody to call that man lemon bitch boy. Not even man, lemon bitch boy. And these two just got on my ass for saying it was an impressive game. I mean, that says enough. These gifts say enough, apparently. Saint Max said, Garbage was hot garbage. He got bailed by Taysom Hill that scoring drive. Horrible passes, every single one of them. Garbage. So we got nicknames for Derek Carr now. He's so trash, we call him Garbage. Fire Dennis Allen, bench Derek Carr. I mean, he makes his opinion in his name alone. Says, no, this game confirmed to me that Derek Carr is autistic. Wow. Man, come on. Let's show some empathy for the autistic people out there. He ain't that bad, is he? Jeez. Neil Scott says, Carr reminds me of the blue 81 Isuzu iMark I drove in high school. It was 13 years old, lacked acceleration, brakes squeaked, something fierce. The tape deck worked sometimes, and it had a gray passenger side door. Sure, it ran. Didn't mean I didn't want a better car. Pun intended. I mean, when you got to go to 81 Isuzu iMark, goddamn, you must really have some ancient hate for this quarterback, huh? Goddamn. Shaquille O'Hale, a.k.a. Kyrie, is a bitch. Man, he must really hate Kyrie Irving, huh? He asked me, are you on Xanax? I'm not going to say I am or I'm not, but if I was, and if Derek Carr feels bad, he should feel at least a little better that the Raiders fans, at least some of them, still have his back, because this guy says the Kardashians, good Lord, there's a lot of nicknames for Derek Carr, huh? The Kardashians will always find a way. Oh, look, it started raining. Fuck Carr, it's his fault it's raining. that actually is kind of valid on how Saints fans feel. All that to say, safe to say, Saints Twitter is not fans of Derek Carr. But hey, just win some games, Derek, and you might win him over. Nah, who the? I'm not kidding. Of course, he's not. They hate him. They just plain hate him. So you guys next week for more adventures in the land of Saints Twitter, where there's shit more than a game. So I'm always trying to be innovative and just introduce or try out unique concepts or different concepts to keep the channel growing, keep the visibility and the engagement high. On all my social media platforms. So I think I'm going to utilize that method a lot more this upcoming season, where I'll ask questions, mainly on Twitter. Hopefully you guys have Twitter profiles if you're watching on YouTube. And Saints Twitter, as crash as they can be sometimes, and they can be a little too much sometimes. They are hilarious, as you saw by some of those comments. And I'll try my best to every week pick out like the funniest comments and highlight them in videos, and hopefully you guys find entertainment in those questions the way Bruce Saint finds entertainment in my mirror selfie mode on those videos. But I enjoyed that. It kind of just gives you a feel of the atmosphere within the Who Dat Nation. All right, now we can't talk about Derek Carr for the whole show now, can we? So let's talk about some other things. I believe that Trevor Penning, for Trevor Penning standards, had a solid game. We didn't hear his name too much, which is good. He's never going to be, in my opinion, an all-pro offensive lineman, right? But it seemed like we helped him enough that we can try, hopefully, to mask his deficiencies throughout the season. And maybe we can get by with him. I don't know. Like, he's not going to be a long-term answer, I don't think. But seeing the game film study and reading some analysis from like the great Nick Underhill and John Hendricks, he wasn't great. He wasn't even arguably good, but he was solid. And you probably would take that from Trevor Penning right now, given just what we know about this guy. So, I mean, honestly, like, if this is a Trevor Penning that we get throughout the whole season, that actually might be a win for us. I mean, sad because the guy's a first-round draft pick, right? You expect anybody in the first round to be great at their position, but if he can give us solid, and if Kubiak can hide his deficiencies, that could actually probably do wonders for us. But the thing about Trevor Penning is, like I said, he has a good game, bad game, good game, bad game, but, you know, like, too inconsistent. So we'll see how he looks Sunday, because I'm pretty sure he's going to play Sunday. And he's going against probably second and third stringers. Like, if you can't dominate against backups, then hopefully that was a boost for him and his morale, and he can take that momentum, even though it was just a solid game, and carry it forward to make the most of his career, which is arguably on the line right now. The defense looked real good. One thing about Dennis Allen, and I ain't going to miss too much if he ever gets fired, but I will miss that man is an elite defensive coordinator. That man can call the defense. Our defense has looked real good the past 2 games. Like, honestly, if we just had a solid offense, we probably could be the NFC South favorites and win 10 games. Like, that defense still looks good. Now, we got to see how they play throughout the season because we are relying on like Tyrann Mathieu and Demario Davis and Cam Jordan, everybody who's a little bit alone in the tooth to sustain that greatness again for another season. And I cannot get mad if they all hit the Father Time wall at some point in a 17-game season this upcoming year. But if they can maintain their level of play, this defense, again, continues to look really good. And one thing about Dennis, as hard as I am as a head coach, that man can coach a defense. And Bruce Saint brings up a great point. It's a shame that Bruce Saint comments is sandwiching between the idiocy of, is that even a word? Nah, I make myself feel like an idiot. Idiocracy of Evan Barnes. And he says that Chase Young is a four. Yeah, Chase Young, if we get the Chase Young that we've seen the first 2 preseason games throughout the year, because we know Chase Young has the pedigree. We know he has the potential. We know he has the raw talent to be a force. He was the number 1 overall pick for a reason. If we get number 1 overall pick Chase Young throughout the season, I said this on Sunday, that could legitimately and literally be a season-saving type acquisition. Like, the most important position, in my opinion, behind quarterback is defensive end because they can impact the game in so many ways. A dominant defensive lineman can impact the game in so many. Look at Aaron Donald. Damn near won that Super Bowl for the Rams on his own on that last drive when he said, I'm Aaron Donald, I'm taking over this goddamn game. Joe Burrow, you are not even getting his goddamn plays off. If Chase Young can, I'm not saying you got to be Aaron Donald, of course, but if he can play and be a force, if he could be a top 7, top 10 defensive end, that can literally change the trajectory of our season. Because then all you would need is Derek Carr to be solid, and you can have the defense carry you over to 7 or 8 wins on their own and say, Derek Carr, just try to win us 1 or 2 games, and now you're looking at 10 or 11 win season. That's obviously a very, very best case scenario outlook. But I'm saying I've seen impact change makers at defensive end before. And so far, Chase Young has looked like that in the first 2 preseason games. We'll see how he looks in the regular season. One of the faults or one of the knocks on Chase Young is he's inconsistent. He'll give you a game where it's like, God damn, that's why he was the number 1 overall pick. Then he'll give you a game where you're like, God damn, he's a bust. So if he can give us that consistently, because he's playing for a contract, he doesn't want to do any more of these 1-year rental contracts. He wants that $80 million, $90 million, $100 million contracts. If he can stay motivated all season, that can arguably save the job of Dennis Allen and maybe even Derek Carr. So we will see. Now we need somebody like Payton Turner and Isaiah Foskey to step up as well, because it's a shame that at year 12, I believe, or 13 for Cam, year 14 maybe, we are relying on Cam to be second in command at his age, which is ancient in football term age, because Payton Turner and Isaiah Foskey are just, I don't know. Like, at least Payton Turner's getting pressure, but he, for whatever reason, cannot get the damn quarterback down. He's looking like, again, a first-round. Sean Payne, I can't believe you left us with Payton Turner as your last draft pick as a Saints head coach. Did you like him because his name was Payton? What the hell? And then Isaiah Foskey, a second-round pick last year, he's showing nothing. He's playing second and third stringers, and he cannot get to the quarterback. Like, he's shown arguably no flashes whatsoever. If one of them can step up, we look a lot better. But sometimes the data is the data. And I've seen nothing from Foskey or Payton Turner right now to think that they're going to be anything, not even as Saints, but in their football career. Payton Turner, I have a little bit more optimism about than Isaiah Foskey. But come on, y'all. Y'all are playing backups and third stringers, and y'all cannot get to the quarterback. What are we doing? You're a first-round pick, Payton Turner. You're a second-round pick, Isaiah Foskey. When you are in this level of mediocrity that the Saints are in right now, you cannot swing and miss on first-round and second-round draft picks. Thank God for Olave and Breezy, right? Because good Lord have mercy. If you just hit on the Foskey and Payton Turner pick, shit, maybe you are in the playoffs last season over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But when you strike out on Penning and when you strike out on Foskey and when you strike out on Payton Turner, that's why you're at 8 or 9 wins right now. That's why you haven't made the playoffs since Drew Brees retired. Those guys have shown me nothing so far. Y'all playing second and third stringers and y'all can't get a sack? Come on. Now y'all got third string offensive linemen who are going to be selling insurance, like these fans like to say, stifling y'all on the line. Get it together. That should be a fireable offense in itself. Mickey Loomis in our scouting department. And finally, I'm going to leave this on a good note. Taysom Hill looked real good. And even though he's, I think, 33 or 34 years old, Taysom Hill looks like he is going to be a force again this season. He's going to make a lot of these opposing fans mad because they hate the fact that we took a third-string quarterback and made him one of the better NFL players of the past 5 years. In that Kubiak system, I think Taysom Hill is going to be really good for us. I hope that his body at his age can hold up for 17 games, but I have my eye on Taysom Hill for fantasy football. Like, I think he is going to be – I'm hoping that this Alvin Kamara contract situation works out. I'm hoping that Kamara has a good 2 years left on that body. I think Kamara and Taysom Hill can really do some damage for this offense in the Clint Kubiak system. Because Taysom on Sunday, you got him motioning, you got him playing fullback. Still haven't seen him at the H-back spot yet. We haven't seen him at the tight end spot. We haven't seen him at wide receiver. You know Kubiak going to put him around in all type of positions. That man is a football player. What is your position, Taysom Hill? Football player. I am really excited about Taysom Hill. I'm also really excited. I haven't seen this guy since I think like week 10. He has the greatest name of all names on the Jono Barnes show. The fish reminds me of her. He left a few super chats in like week 11 or 12 last season. And me and the crew, Fish reminds me of her. We still get a laugh every now and then. Like, hey, y'all remember that guy named Fish reminds me of her? Like, it's just the funniest name that we ever seen. So, well, hopefully it's good fish when it reminds you of her. But thanks for when you make, you're like Batman. You come like a thief in the night. We see you once and then you just kind of disappear. You leave into the abyss. But whenever you come, you leave a super chat, which I appreciate because I don't know if you've seen or if you've been following the channel. Fish reminds me of her. But since that show, like we've done some pretty cool things on the show. And y'all super chats have helped us to get like top of the line equipment and stuff to up our game to have someone like Eric McCoy come to the house and chat with me. So thank you. Fish reminds me of her because every super chat that we get, we invest right back into the show. And my guy, Bruce Saint, has been basically funneling the show for the past offseason. So I'm glad that he has some company now in the super chat club. But the fish reminds me of her says, and I'm sorry I don't have my producer on the show to give you the air horns, but I'll try my best. Doo-doo-doo. Fish reminds me of her says, the Saints are doomed. Crying emoji. We are too mid to get a top 5, and we can't make the playoffs. I've said that many times. Fish reminds me of her. He says Derek Carr's ass fuck too. And Trevor Penning makes wow. So Fish reminds me of her. You going through it. I don't think we're that bad. Fish reminds me of her, but I do agree that we are kind of in one of the worst spots to be as a franchise when you're not good enough to make the playoffs, but you're not bad enough to get a top pick. So you're just stuck in mediocrity veil where you really don't have anything in the show for it. Like if you're going to be bad as a team, then at least the fans can be like, oh, we got a top 5 pick. Maybe we'll draft a star quarterback. Maybe we'll draft a star defensive lineman or a star wide receiver who can change the trajectory of our offensive defense. We don't even have that. We basically are just stuck in this mediocrity veil where we don't get to watch the playoffs with our team in it. So we just got to hope that, Dane's magically turn around. Well, Evan, how about you come on the show and do the goddamn air horns and stop protesting being on the show, asshole? But you are absolutely right to feel that way. Fish reminds me of her, and I am glad to have you back. I hope Fish reminds me of her. You don't do another like 5-month hiatus because we really enjoyed you when you were on the show. I think that was like November or December when you came on the show and left a few super chats. And then we never heard from you again. Fish reminds me of her. But we want the Jono Barnes show to remind you of her. So come back on the show. Fish reminds me of her. And absolutely thank you for the super chat. While we're talking super chats, let's talk about people who left super chats on the show last week. You got my guy, the great Brute Saint, the king of super chats, the guy who is basically funding this show all by his lonesome self. Brute Saint, you already know that you are this shit more than the game certified. And my guy, Derek L, also left a super chat last week. And we appreciate you guys. And we know that you guys are this shit more than the game certified. And I hope you guys know that this shit is more than a thanks. We got some voicemails last week, guys. Y'all want to hear the voicemails? I know that's our favorite time of the show. Let's get to the voicemails after we hear a word from one of our sponsors. And y'all know who that sponsor is. No matter what, we all know that this shit more than a game, and now you can wear it with pride. Visit www.jonobarnes.com or
thisshitmorethanagame.com and buy your This Shit More Than a Game shirt now for the low price of $28.03. You can buy it in black and gold, purple and gold, white and blue, red and navy blue, all types of colors. We've got you covered here on the Jono Barnes Show. So visit www.jonobarnes.com or thisshitmorethanagame.com and buy your This Shit More Than a Game shirt now. And let the world know, folks, this shit more than a game.
And maybe you don't want to wear you don't want to leave a super chat. That's fine. You know how else you can support the show? You can buy a t-shirt at the brand new white and gold This Shit More Than a Game shirt on sale now for the 2024 season. Brand new. Came out last Sunday. You could be one of the first people to wear the white and gold This Shit More Than a Game shirt. And mind you, I also was motivated to make a white shirt for you fellow Saints fans because, it gets real hot. Y'all know how hot it is. I'm hot right now just wearing this goddamn black shirt. And I'm inside in the air-conditioned unit. But it gets real hot. So I'm like, maybe fans don't be wanting to wear a hot-ass black shirt in the middle of the dog days of the summer in Louisiana or Texas or wherever you're at. So why not get a white shirt? You can detract the heat a little bit better. You can buy it now for only $28.03 at www.jonobarnes.com or This Shit More Than a Game if you're nasty. As well, we still have the tank tops for a limited time only, maybe for another month or so before the fall and winter weather starts to kick in. If you want to buy a tank top, show off them muscles, try to beat the heat, but still let the world know that this shit more than a game. You can buy it at jonobarnes.com or this shit more than a game.com if you're feeling nasty. Let's do some housekeeping items while we are also, plugging all this stuff. If you want to join the Jono Barnes Show, pick them. All you got to do is go on that link. I posted a link in the chat on past shows. If you go on past show replays, you can see literally the pinned comment is the link. And all you got to do is put in the group ID, which is 2312. And the password in all lowercase letters is Jono Barnes. Hell, I will put it in the chat again right now. If you want to make your picks with me and with my dumbass cousin Evan and with Sean, if he's still alive, and with Ziggy, you can make your picks this season all year long with us at this link and just put in the group ID and password. And the winner, the person who makes the most correct picks for the 2024 season, can win a This Shit More Than a Game shirt. Maybe you're going to want to buy the white and gold shirt, or maybe you're going to want to get the tank top. There's so many options at thisshitmorethanagame.com. You can try to get a free one if you enter into our Pro Pick'em League and join now and make your picks against me and Ziggy and Sean and Evan and have a grand old time. Speaking of grand old time, the voicemails are always a grand old time. So we got a few voicemails this past week, which is always great, right? Like preseason, and we're still getting voicemails. We really appreciate that. So let us hear the voicemails from the great This Shit More Than a Game community. By the way, y'all, if y'all hear an echo, let me know. Let me know from the first call if y'all hear an echo, okay? Do me a favor. Let me know you hear an echo. This is what happens when I don't have my producer Ziggy with me. I need y'all to play the role of producer for me. I know I'm asking for a lot, but I know y'all can do it because y'all This Shit More Than a Game certified.
What up? It's your boy, Curly Head Trev, a.k.a. Trevor Trev, a.k.a. the player champ. Now, you know I got to fucking address this damn Justice Simmons situation, bro. I said I was going to do it after the Niners game and shit, but you already know how it is. Man, how the fuck y'all let Justin Simmons go to the op? But for one motherfucking year with $8 million, what type of bullshit is that, man? Not only that, bro. Not only that, you let them go to the damn motherfucking Falcons, the ops, bro. Yeah, that motherfucker could have went to the damn Jaguars or some shit, the motherfucking Commanders or some shit, but y'all let him walk and go to the fucking Falcons? Really? On another note, man, our front four gonna be nasty, bro. And going on offense, if the motherfucking sorry-ass O-line fucking save up and shit, hey, Taysom Hill will be fucking dangerous at fucking fullback. Real shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this your boy Curly Head Trev, bro. Shit, I'm out.
Now, Curly Head is new to the show, and boy, do we love us some Curly Head. That was a good call, Curly Head. Curly Head, what I'm going to do is after this segment, I'm gonna get on that Justin Simmons and Falcons thing because I did a video on that with my raw reaction when he chose the Falcons over us, and it wasn't pretty. And, of course, per usual, it led to me and my comments getting infiltrated by Falcons fans. I'll get to that in a moment because I got a message for these dumbass Falcons fans. But I appreciate the call, Curly Head Trav. I'm surprised that Evan is actually protesting the show because he was so excited to have you and your voicemail last week that I thought he was going to definitely be back on the show to hear your second voicemail. Wait, we got some good comments throughout that call too. Tyrell, what up, Tyrell says, Derek Carr will win me over when he starts winning games. One good drive in preseason is not going to impress me. Wins will, and hopefully he won't throw his teammates under the bus like last year. Tyrell, welcome to the Jono Bone Show. I don't remember very much if you are a regular on the show, but if you're new to the show, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and don't be a stranger, Tyrell. We appreciate any and all opinions on the show. Kevin Prokop, that's also a pretty new name that I'm not used to seeing on the show. What up, Kev? He says, if this year goes poorly, I should make a shirt that comes in a cut-up paper bag so that it can match our paper bags. I don't want to give out too much of my behind-the-scenes ideas and marketing, but the great Papa Barnes even recommended to me about possibly implementing paper bags into my merchandise. So I don't know. Now that I got two people saying about paper bags, maybe I should really consider, this year more than a paper bag, right? Derek, I just gave you a shout out, man. Thank you. And thank Bruce Saint for the donations last week. Y'all know it means the world to me. And the super chat is awesome. And this shit is more than a thanks, Derek. And Fish reminds me of her, says, it was so embarrassing how the announcers kept announcing, mind you, this is the Saints starting defending facing the Cardinals second string defense when we couldn't do nothing last week. So Fish reminds me of her. It's just really in a bad spot. Whoever the her is that you are referencing in your name, Fish reminds me of her. I hope that y'all can rekindle what y'all had so that you can feel a little bit better. My guy Tyrone, I haven't seen him in a while. What up, T? You am right. Go Saints. Chad says, don't do them damn bags, Jono. You see? Now, I hear you, Chad, because if I ever did implement bags into my merchandise, I'm sure I will piss off a lot of Saints fans. I'll have some fans that have fun with it and probably will purchase it, but I will also piss off a side of Saints fan base that I don't know if I'm ready for that smoke. So I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I'm just saying the thought was out there, Chad, okay? Give me a break. Give me a break. I'm just saying. Breaking news, the Pelicans signed Javonte Green. Yeah, they announced that about 3 hours ago. A nice, solid pickup for the Pelicans. He can do some good things for our bench. Ain't going to be a difference maker or anything like that, but, in those dog days of the regular season, he can be a nice, energetic boost to our bench. All right, let's get back to the voicemails, folks. And shout out to over 200 people watching us across all platforms right now. We really, really appreciate you guys. If you're watching on either platform, especially on YouTube, though, hit that like and subscribe button. And please subscribe because I promise you guys, we are going to bring the heat when the regular season starts in less than 3 weeks. I promise you guys, we got some fun things planned for you guys this upcoming season. So make sure you try to lock in your calendar specifically for Tuesdays when we go on live. But just make sure you hit that bell notification because there are going to be some special shows that we got to do on Wednesday due to travel commitments or due to actually, I believe in week one or after week one, the presidential debate with Kamala and Trump is going to be on that Tuesday. I don't know if I want to go up against Kamala and Trump, so I might have to do my first week one post show on Wednesday. But the way that to assure that you do not miss out on any live shows is to, one, subscribe, because I always try to announce at least 24 hours in advance when I'm going live, but also hit that bell notification so that when I do go live, it pops up on your iPhone or your Android and it says, Jono Bones is live right now. You can come join the show and talk all the stuff you want to talk about the Saints, like the great Mickey Loomis, who is also a Jono Bones Show subscriber and fan, even though I say a lot of unpositive things about him sometimes. still talking about how Chuck Knowles in his first 3 years was not good. So maybe Dennis Allen can be the next Chuck Knowles. Let's get to the next voicemail.
Bruce Saints back. Your most brutally honest Saints fan to walk the earth. And this is going to be pretty short and sweet, I would say. So first 2 offensive drives, the same as we expected from last week. Just very poor from our starters. But the third drive, apparently Clint Kubiak decided, okay, you know what, I'm going to go full Kyle Shanahan on you and get the fucking touchdown drive. 95 yards down the field. Which is insane. And a lot of it was due to the running game really starting to get on a roll, get some momentum. A lot of it was that, and a little bit of that was Derek Carr, because he was pretty efficient on that drive as well. Obviously, you should be. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not much left else to say, but the shit more than a game.
You already know this shit more than the game, Bruce, and we always appreciate your call. I ain't gonna lie though, Bruce, and your calls are a lot shorter when we win than when we lose. What's that all about, Bruce Saint? What's that all about? Next voicemail call.
Yo, Jono. So, look, I was looking back at the tape last week and, I was kind of harsh on Derek Carr. I don't think he was, he's 2 for 6 for 12 yards last week, but at the end of the day, if you look at it, Puaga could have blocked on that play, they got batted down. Olave could have caught that pass over the middle. And obviously he had to overthrow the car. But hey, this last game, even though we lost, wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. He only threw 2 or 3 incomplete passes, and he was hitting Bub Means. Bub Means had a good game. The defense played really well, especially when the starters played against 49ers starters. But Joshua Dobbs, every time that man plays against freaking Saints, for some reason, he's always Patrick freaking Mahomes, and I can't understand why, and it's making me want to pull my hair out. Anyways, with that, don't be a Falcons fan.
Mikey, you starting to close off your voicemails, like you say, who that, and then you say, don't be, and then you kind of just start mumbling. I know a thing or two about mumbling. I don't know what you be saying when you close out your calls, but of course, Mikey continues his streak of calling for the past, I want to say, damn near 36 weeks in, even when there was nothing going on in the offseason, Mikey still called me once a week. So thank you, Mikey. And Mikey, I saw you say that you're going to come to the launch party Sunday. Awesome. We cannot wait to see you, Mikey. Make sure you wear this shit more than a game shirt. And we appreciate the support that you have shown at your young, tender age of letting the world know that this shit is more than a game. Bruce Saint says, 2 swear words for $2. He's proud of himself. See, now I got to wonder, maybe I want the Saints to lose. So, because if the Saints lose, then Bruce ain't going to call, say 15 curse words, and that's $15 in super chat. So, I don't know. Y'all heard Bruce Saint call. Y'all heard Mikey's call. They're a lot more calm when the Saints win, which is fine, but it's not as entertaining. I don't know. Maybe I actually do want the Saints to not succeed this year. I mean, $2 is great, Bruce Saint, but I know if we lost, that probably would have been a $20 super chat with the curse words you would have said. I appreciate you, Bruce Saint. Thank you.
Hey, Jono. Hey, loving the show, man. So just to weigh in on the Derek Carr hate, I guess. I personally don't hate Derek Carr, but I just feel like he leaves a lot more to be desired. I just felt like he was signed by the Saints back last season. I just felt like Dennis Allen was trying to find someone to basically beat Drew Brees, and he basically signed Derek Carr to be Drew Brees. And once he found out that that didn't work, and the offense, the leftover Sean Payton offense didn't work, he's now trying to save face by hiring Clint Kubiak. I don't think that Derek Carr deserves hate, but he does deserve a lot of criticism just for the way that he was carrying himself last year. He was throwing people under the bus, and Dennis Allen doing the same thing, throwing people under the bus. So it's just I personally am not feeling him at the moment. But I think if he starts winning games, if he starts taking ownership of his mistakes this year, like he did last year, then maybe that'll change my mind about him. I was excited at first to have him, but then last year happened, and then I just kind of basically I don't want this guy on my team. But I just feel as long as he starts winning games and take us, potentially to the playoffs and things like that. I feel like, he'll definitely win my vote for sure. Love you guys' show and this shit more than a game, than a stream, than a voicemail.
Love you too. You didn't leave a name, but we love you and appreciate the support. I will disagree with one thing. You said signing Clint Kubiak is to save face. I mean, I don't know. I mean, technically, every franchise is always trying to save face. You always want to upgrade. You don't want to be just like staying in mediocrityville, even though ironically we are staying in mediocrityville. So I don't think the Clint Kubiak signing was to save face. I think it was to upgrade the offense, and that's what you should want as a fan. So, but good voicemail, and I appreciate the love. Next time, leave a name so we can shout you out. That though, Wayne, this is like a level 2 of how funny the voicemails can be. Because as you remember last season, when the Saints lose, them voicemails get turned up a huge lot. So Mikey says he was sick. Well, I hope you feel better, Mikey, and you couldn't go longer. All good. Actually, I'll be honest, y'all. I would prefer the voicemails to be under 2 minutes. One, it helps me out because I try to edit the voicemails so that they can just be a stream of flow. Like, people when they talk, they breathe and they stop for a little bit. I don't like dead air. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll go and take each voicemail. And if y'all hear, it's usually when the voicemail is played, like it's just nonstop talking. That's because I go and I chop out all of the dead air to make sure that it's a long stream of just verbal communication. But it takes a lot of work. So I actually would prefer short and sweet and efficient voicemails over the 3-minute, 4-minute voicemails, except Bruce Sane, because Bruce Sane has been damn near funded in this show, so he can leave a voicemail for as long as he wants. But if you ain't leaving super chats every week, then I would strongly suggest to leave the voicemails to 2 minutes or less. Make it funny, make it entertaining, and make it good. Anything over 2 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, come on now. I'm only one man. But I do appreciate every single voicemail. And I know that when the season starts, we're going to get a lot, which means a lot more editing for me. But I'm going to do it because I love this show and I love you guys. But if y'all can make it short and sweet and funny, entertaining, make it so that people want to make that segment the most watched segment of all the Saints content, because Lord knows the passion that you guys have. I mean, y'all saw the earlier video with the Saints Twitter comments. Like, I know the passion you guys have, and I want to give you guys a platform to say what you got to say. I just hope y'all make it funny and memorable. So keep that in mind. We got one more voicemail, and I'm so glad. I am so glad. I love all of you guys, but this guy is truly the voicemail legend, and y'all know who I'm talking about. I mean, you just gotta know who I'm talking about.
This is James. Just James. There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, you can't get fooled again. I'm not going to get fooled by that one touchdown drive by the Saints offense against the 49ers backups. Nick Bosa wasn't playing. Fred Warner wasn't playing. Man, stop it. Stop it. It took them 3 drives to even get a touchdown. But I will say Taysom Hill looks real good, and I expect him to piss off a lot of fantasy owners and opposing fans and nerd analysts like he always has. But don't get fooled, Jono. You ask, why do Saints fans hate Derek Carr? The reason has been in front of you the whole time. This is James, just James.
You gotta love James, just James. I'm not fooled, just James. I didn't say we were going to the Super Bowl. I just say he had an impressive game, in my opinion. Jeez, y'all. Thank you to everybody who left a voicemail. If you want to hear your voice on the Jono Barnes Show throughout the season, it's real simple. Leave a voicemail at 504-484-9170. Try your best, please, to keep it 2 minutes or less, because we're going to eventually get a lot more voicemails, and I can't have the show going on too long. I know y'all got lives, even though I appreciate that y'all sacrifice some of y'all lives to tune in every Tuesday. But make it short and sweet and efficient, and make it entertaining. And like Mikey says, this shit more than the game. Just don't be a Falcons fan. Speaking of Falcons fans, I got something for Falcons fans. After a word from one of our sponsors. Here's a gift just for you for being a fan. Are you going to a sports game or a concert or any major event? Well, buy your tickets from SeatGeek and use the promo code Jono at checkout and you can receive $20 off your purchase over $50. That's $20 off your purchase. What are you waiting for? You know this shit more than a game, man. Let me tell y'all about those damn dirty birds. So the Saints didn't try to sign Justin Simmons. We wined and dined them, brought him to California, did not agree to a deal. The rumors were that he wanted multiple years and we only wanted to sign him for 1 year. I was okay with that. I was like, yeah, look, we're kind of in a do or die type year, I would think. So like, why would we sign or commit ourselves to a player for multiple years when we don't know what the regime is going to look like next year? And then, of course, those little brother Atlanta Falcons came like a goddamn rat that sees a piece of cheese at 12 a.m. at night. And they brought Justin Simmons to their facility. And they ultimately ended up signing Justin Simmons for 1 year. And I was mad. I was pretty mad. Hell, I'll be honest. I even had a skit ready to go. I hate when I do skits and they're never going to see the light of day. Like, that was a waste of me and my wife's time. However, I don't know. I might do a membership or something and let you guys, or let a certain few people see and never before seen, probably never will be released to the public skit that I did thinking the Saints were going to sign Justin Simmons. But, you know, that's the game is the game. I try to be prepared in case something happens, and sometimes it's not going to always go your way. But damn, to the Falcons, the Dirty Birds, he could have signed with any other team and it would have been okay. He signed with the Falcons. That was not the worst thing in the world. Justin Simmons, in my opinion, was not going to make or break the Saints season. I think that he could have made us go from a potential top 10 defense to a guaranteed top 5 defense. Absolutely. And maybe that would have been the difference in 9 or 10 wins in the playoff spot. But damn, the optics, if they don't look bad. Damn if the optics do not look bad. When you have a man come to your team, you wine and dine him first with Tyrann Mathieu and Mickey Loomis and Dennis Allen and Demario Davis. You say everything went well. It was a great visit. We're going to, take our time and hopefully we can work something out. And then he goes to the Falcons some 5-6 days later. Damn if that doesn't look like bad optics. See, fans are already on edge. We can tell. Look at how evil we are with Derek Carr. Fans are already pissed off. I've said this multiple times now. This is the lowest I feel the fan base has been since the 2000s. Not even the 2000s, because I feel like when we got Haslett, the optimism was a little bit high. It's a brand new coach. You get excited. So since the 90s, this is the lowest the fan base has been. And then you lose out on a name of prominence like Justin Simmons, 3-time All-Pro second-team safety, a damn good safety. You lose out on him to the Falcons after you wine and dine him. It's one thing that the Falcons would have just signed him outright, right? Like, without us having any involvement. Like, they traded for Matthew Judon last week as well. And it was like, whatever. Like, good for them. They're like the other 31 teams trying to upgrade their team. But when you had a player in your building first, you got the fan base excited. I was like, well, damn, the Saints finally got that, one free agent move that's going to get the even of most jilted fans a little bit optimistic. And you don't sign him and you let the Falcons come from under you and sign them. Damn. I even tweeted, I was like, if that's not just the embodiment of what this era looks like. And of course, you get a little bit of pushback, right? Like, oh, John, you wasn't here for the dark days. I didn't say it was the darkest days in franchise history. I say that this is a dark era. And this is going to be looked upon, especially if we don't make the playoffs this year, as a dark era for the Saints. The post-Drew Brees era is a dark era so far. And one of those signs is going to be when, like, damn, y'all remember when the freaking Falcons came and a player chose the Falcons over the Saints? The Falcons ain't made the playoffs since 2017. And the Falcons have more prestige right now to free agents than the Saints. Now, I don't know what the Saints offer as far as money. Maybe we only offer $6 million. And, of course, you're going to take $8 million over $6 million. It's math. But that man chose the Falcons over us. I was pissed. I went on live and I let it all out. And I don't know if the algorithm is a Falcons fan or if the football guys like to troll me, but every time I do a rant about the Saints at the expense of us coming up short against the Falcons, those damn Falcons fans come out like clockwork. They are front runners. There's some cool Falcons fans. I like a few. I know that's probably against the this shit more than the game commands. So there's a few Falcons fans I like that they come no matter what, win or lose, they are in the chat. But of course, when things are shining bright, when the hype is real, the Falcons fans come out their shadow. And if you watch my video, you can watch it after the show if you haven't seen it yet. I think I got over 150 comments, just like I did in November when the Falcons beat us after Thanksgiving. Typical Falcons fans, front runners, bruh, front runners. Here are some of the comments. Shows how pathetic the Saints have been already losing to the Falcons. Rise up, we busting y'all ass twice this year. Get ready, Aints fans is coming. Y'all did us a favor kicking our ass in the last game without the Smith. It's more Atlanta fans in your comments than the Saints. He actually was right about that. Sometimes I'm like, goddamn, Saints fans, where y'all at? Come help me out. I feel like I'm getting jumped. I ain't got no Saints fans coming to say, yo, Jono, I got your back. Jeez, come on, this shit more than the game community. I'm gonna need y'all help sometimes. It can't be 1 versus 1,000. Atlanta, baby. Judon and Simmons and Bates are gonna raise the bar in Atlanta. Laughing my ass off. You mad, ain't you? Terry Fine now picked us over y'all, too. I couldn't even have half the BS you were saying, Jono. Sounds like you got a mouth for the beignets the louder you get it. I ain't gonna even lie about that. I do sound like I got mush mouth sometimes. I thoroughly enjoyed this inaudible cry fest, though. Rise up. I love seeing the Falcons fans hurting the Saints. Thank you for making this video for my enjoyment. I really love seeing Saints fans press. Y'all love to cry, don't you? I know he ain't talking. I know Falcons fans ain't talking. Anybody but the Falcons, laughy emoji. Saints fans are having a heart attack. This season is going to be, I like Big Slime, by the way. So Big Slime, you actually are cool with me. This season is going to be one for the books. Cry me a river all season, Jono. Rise up. It's funny how Saints fans feel like y'all have some head of a team, but in reality, the only time in history you have been decent is during the Brees and Payton era. Don't be spoiled. It's back to the brown paper bag days over the head norm that has always been deep-rooted with the Saints DNA. Get back in the basement of the NFC South. I mean, yeah, sue us. Okay, Drew Brees and Sean Payton gave us 15 great years. I mean, the average lifespan is 75 years. So that means for 1/5 of our lifetime, we had a great era. Sue us. Y'all wish I could have an era like that. What are we talking about, Falcons fans? We about to eat the whole NFC South 6-0. Well, hopefully the NFC South tastes delicious. This team is different once the fans get involved. Ooh, the Falcons fans are involved, y'all. I'm scared now. Not the Falcons fans. The Falcons fans are involved now. Now it's real scary hours. Ooh, y'all showing us, Falcons fans. The energy is totally different once the fans know we have a chance to continue in the playoffs. I bet it is, Falcons fans. Love seeing the Saints fans in shambles. One thing the Falcons fans going to do is find a way to rise up. Then what the hell are y'all from 2017 to now, Falcons fans? Y'all Saints fans are mad as hell. Keep the 8 for another 3 years along with that broken down Pinto car y'all have. I like Archangel, so I'm going to let that slide because he actually shows up win or lose. And Falcons rise up. And that's just half of it, y'all. You can go on the video on my channel. Over 145 comments. Falcons fans, if one thing they're going to do, they're going to be front runners. When things are going good, they show up. Y'all were on it. If you're true to the Jono Bones channel, you saw last year after the Falcons game, I got pissed off because I hate losing to the Falcons and anything. In the games and the free agent race, horseshoes, it don't matter. I don't like losing to the Falcons. But when I do go on my rants on the Saints at the Falcons' expense, boy, do those fans show up. But when the Saints actually went up on the Falcons, ain't nowhere to be seen. They ain't nowhere to be seen. Because what happened at the week 17, week 18? We bust the Falcons' ass. We even did a garbage time touchdown on them to let them know that they had the little brother in this rivalry. And where were the Falcons fans that week? Nowhere to be found. You couldn't find it with a goddamn search warrant, like my guy Hodemayo says. Couldn't find a Falcons fan 10, 20, 30, 40 miles of you. You could have been in Atlanta. You couldn't find a Falcons fan that week. And they got lucky. It's what should have been a celebratory week. I could have been celebrating how, oh, look at that, boy. Dennis Allen actually got some nuts on him. He ran up that score on the Falcons, but of course he wound up apologizing and killed all the goodwill that he had. And we had to, once again, in the season, yelling and ranting about goddamn Dennis Allen over celebrating the whoop ass on the Falcons. But boy, do those Falcons fans have to show up when things are going good. And I'm sure if they are going to be decent this year, they're going to be in this chat. They're going to be on my comments and my videos talking all that noise. But I've said it once, I'll say it a million times, and I love that fan base is so damn delusional that even though the data is always in front of them, they never seem to want to accept it. One thing the Falcons are going to do, y'all, is the Falcons are going Falcon. The Falcons are going Falcon. So they can come on my channel. I'm a big boy. I enjoy it. They can talk all that shit. They can talk all that noise. If they by chance beat us this season, they are more than welcome to come on a rant video, because there will be a rant video. They're more than happy to come on the Jono Bone Show and talk they smack. Because I know one thing. At some point, the Falcons will falcon. And we always get the last laugh. We always get the last laugh. So have at it, Falcons fans. Enjoy y'all moment in the sun. Y'all can hang up a banner. Y'all, Lord knows y'all ain't got no banners in that nice stadium of y'all. Hang up a banner. We beat the Saints in the Justin Simmons race. One thing I know about y'all is the Falcons are going falcon. And I promise you, you are definitely going to want to stay up to your reputation and not show up when y'all do falcon. Because me and in this shit more than the game community, we're going to let y'all motherfuckers have it. So talk your shit right now. Just remember, the Falcons always falcon. Let me get to some chat comments, and then we can wrap up the show for tonight and look forward to a very, very, very fun Sunday. Bruce Saint says, I don't hate the Falcons fans or the players. I hate the franchise. Well, I hate the Falcons as a franchise, as a team, and as a goddamn crew. If you want to be down with the Falcons, then F you too. Shout out to Tupac. My guy, Martin DeFiddle, y'all. Search Day Late Data Short Podcast on YouTube and put my name next to it. And I did an interview with my guy last week. Had a great time. If you want, if you got the time and if you really are that much of a Jono Bone supporter, I doubt you are. I wouldn't be. My wife isn't. But if you want to learn more about my life story and about how this shit more than the game came to fruition, about how I come up with my skits and just my fanaticism in general, I did a great interview with Marlon on his Day Late Data Short Podcast. If you go on my community tab on my YouTube channel, I have the link to it right now. It was a fun interview. I had a great time. He's an Eagles fan. Marlon is, but he's still a pretty cool. He's not a Falcons fan, so it's not time to fire Mickey Loomis yet, Marlon, as I told you. But I am a little disappointed that he is just almost damn near ruining the legacy he had with Sean Payton and Drew Brees and washing it away with this Dennis Allen era that we have right now. Fish reminds me of her with another super chat. He says Olave is not gonna re-sign with us. Nobody wants us. I think we'll see. Olave has about 2 more years on his contract. We'll see. I don't want to go into that much of a panic mode yet, but we'll see. We'll see. It'll be very interesting because I said this on my guy Marlon's show last week. I said if we do fire DA, we got to accept that whoever the new head coach is may not be lock and key with some of these players we got now. Like usually when a new head coach comes in, he turns the whole team around. Y'all remember when Sean Payton came in, right? Dante Stallworth didn't even make it to the regular season. Joe Horn had 1 year. He was showing the door. He went to Atlanta. I hated that. Like head coaches come in and they say, none of these guys I'm loyal to. These aren't my guys. I didn't sign them. I didn't trade for them. I didn't draft them. So maybe a new head coach comes in and says, Olave is good, but I would rather trade him for some value. Maybe the new head coach comes in and says, I don't like Spencer Rattler at all. Again, I told this to my guy Marlon. Sometimes when you ask for this, you get that. Y'all, some of y'all asked for Drew Brees to be gone. You got the quarterback hell we in now. Some of y'all say it was time for Sean Payton to go. You got the Dennis Allen hell we in right now. So if we do get a new regime, you got to also accept that anybody who's wearing black and gold right now may not be wearing black and gold in 2 or 3 years because the new regime may be like, those ain't our guys. We got a vision of what we want this team to be, and none of these guys match that. That's just, a bit hyperbolic. I'm not saying that a new coach will come in and wipe away the whole team, but I'm saying if you look at the history of new coaches, usually a team, when a new coach comes in, looks a lot different 2 or 3 years afterwards. So just think about that for all you Spencer Rattler lovers when you also are saying, man, I want Dennis Allen gone. Or all of you fans of who love Olave, et cetera, et cetera. Well, if we get a new head coach, just know that these guys may not be what the new head coach would want. Fish reminds me of her also asks, who is currently my favorite player on the roster? I wanted to say, I'm sorry. Easy answer. Eric McCoy. Eric McCoy, of course. My guy came to my house. He came to my house. I still believe, because I have not found any data to prove otherwise or any footage or any records to show otherwise, that he is the first current NFL player to come to a fan's house for a conversation. I've seen NFL players come to fans' Zooms, their StreamYards, their restreams, but I've never seen an NFL active player come to a fan's house for an interview. I think that we made history with that. It's a shame that it isn't as worldwide known yet, but I do hope one day when it becomes like the norm for NFL players to come to fans' houses who do content and do videos and stuff, that it started in New Orleans Ace, and it started in the This Shit More Than the Game community. I love AK. I love Taysom. I love DeMario. I love my guy Cam. I love all of them. But after what McCoy did, he is easily my favorite player on the team. You can argue he's the best player, to be honest. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to produce and do the show at the same time. All that to say, y'all, it was a great show. Let's wrap up. We don't want to go too long. I'm tired. I talked for 3 hours on Sunday. There's only so much of Jono's voice y'all can put up with, I'm sure. I appreciate all of you guys. One more preseason game, then it's time for the regular season. And this upcoming preseason game is actually going to be a special one because, one more time, y'all, this Sunday at Blue Oak Barbecue, if you are in the New Orleans area, hell, if you're not even in the New Orleans area, come make the trip to Blue Oak Barbecue, 900 North Carrollton Avenue, New Orleans, Louisiana. At 1 p.m. this Sunday, we will be debuting the This Shit More Than a Drink, which is a strawberry mango alcoholic frozen drink infused with This Shit More Than a Game energy. We're going to have a grand old time. I'm going to be there. The wifey's going to be there. Ziggy's going to be there. Some of the crew is going to be there. My parents might be there. You might get to see the whole damn Barnes family, y'all. This Sunday, August 25th, which is actually my birthday, by the way. How cool is that? It'll be a great birthday gift. If I can see some of y'all faces at Blue Oak Barbecue this Sunday at 1 p.m. We're going to have the Saints game on. Y'all can watch y'all great Hope and Spencer Rattler lead the team to hopefully a victory. Blue Oak is going to have their amazing menu for purchase. Y'all can buy some of the best damn barbecue in the city of New Orleans. And, of course, you can celebrate with me and my crew and have, for the first time ever, historic, the This Shit More Than a Drink. I hope to see you guys there. If not, I'm sure you guys will be there in spirit. We will record some footage from there. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun Sunday. Even if you can only show up for a few minutes, I'm not expecting everybody to be there for the whole game. But if you want to just come, have a drink, say what's up, chop it up, and then go enjoy the rest of your Sunday fun day, feel free to. I'll be there from 1 to 4. But as long as you guys can come in that window for a little bit, have a drink, let me know what you think about it, I would really appreciate it, because this, again, is because of you. I benefit from these amazing opportunities, but I would not have these amazing opportunities without you guys supporting me every step of the way. I don't have the biggest audience. I don't even know how I got a drink with only 10,000 followers and 7,000 on YouTube. Hell, we only got 18 watching on YouTube, 17 on YouTube, 189 on Twitter, which is cool. But Lord knows I'm not anybody that's like dominating the content creation space. So the fact that I get these opportunities like Eric McCoy coming to the crib or Blue Oak Barbecue, having my own drink, that's pretty special, and that's because of you guys. So I appreciate you guys, and my way of saying thanks is to hopefully, have a good time with you guys at the drink launch this Sunday, because we didn't even have to do the drink launch, but I wanted to do it just to give you guys, hopefully, if y'all have the ability to come kick it with me, celebrate, have a good time. We built a legitimate community, I would say, which is why I am getting these opportunities, right? Like, you can have all the numbers and followers in the world, but do you have a legitimate community? I believe that This Shit More Than the Game community is legitimate. It's authentic. It's the best damn community in the Who Dat Nation. And I wanted to kind of just show some support and give opportunities to, meet you guys for the first time in person. So this Sunday, August 25th at 1 p.m., if you have the ability, please come on out. I know my guy Hurricane Mikey said he's going to be there. Come celebrate my birthday with me and try to This Shit More Than a Drink. Now, if you can't make it on Sunday, it's okay, because the drink is going to be available throughout the whole fall season. So you can go in September if you're in the city and get you a This Shit More Than a Drink. Just remember, when you get a drink, you got to be like, yo, bartender, I'll have This Shit More Than a Drink. Let them know that this shit more than a game. I appreciate you, Sandra. I appreciate you, Bruce, and I appreciate all you guys for the early birthday wishes. Thank you guys very, very much. Always remember, life is a blessing. Appreciate that you're here. Rest in peace to my big brother, Dwayne. I'll be having a drink this Sunday in his honor. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope to see you this Sunday. Always remember, y'all, well, not only is this shit more than a drink, but this shit more than a I botched that. This shit more than a game. See you guys next week.
Jono.